I love all of you too, because I know that I'm just here today, but that you work so hard every day. And really what the point of this gathering is to ensure that all of us work even harder. It's a hard fight, and it's gonna take a long time. And Madam Assistant Secretary General, Excellencies, deputies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jane Fonda, and I'm an activist doing my part to ensure equality for women and girls around the world. And I am very, very happy to be here today to mark what we have achieved in the 20 years since the 4th World Conference on Women in Beijing, and to just mention a few things about what we have to do to go forward. In my work with teenage girls, and as an advisory member of the Board of Equality now, I've seen firsthand all around the world how women and girls grow and blossom and become empowered and become productive citizens when they have a sense of equal worth and the dignity that that imparts. I also understand the critical role of governments. They are the ones that ultimately have to ensure that women and men and girls and boys are equal in the eyes of the law. And obviously, a first step in this direction is removing laws that treat women and girls as less than boys and men. This is what we committed to 20 years ago in Beijing. I was there. I remember Hillary's speech. I remember Bella Abzug. Bella. This is what we committed to. I'm inspired by the fact that so many governments have made changes to their laws over the past 2 decades, and I'm just going to list a few. 139 countries now guarantee gender equality in their constitutions. 125 countries have outlawed domestic violence. 117 countries have laws against sexual harassment in the workplace. 117 countries have equal pay laws. I wish my country could say the same. Yes. Something we have to work on. 115 countries give women equal rights to own property. And 22 out of 28 African states where female genital mutilation has been practiced now have laws against it. Equality Now started a global campaign against discriminatory laws over 15 years ago to help governments live up to their commitments that they made in Beijing. And we are proud to say that more than half of all the discriminatory laws identified in our advocacy reports have been repealed or amended. Just in the last 5 years in Morocco and Argentina, rapists can no longer escape punishment by marrying or settling with their victims. Kenyan, Senegalese, and Surinamese women can now pass their citizenship on to their children on the same basis as men can. Iraqi women can get a passport without needing a man's permission. Australian women can now apply for jobs in any part of the military. Bolivian women have less restrictions on their employment, and married Swazi women can register property in their own names. Each discriminatory law that is repealed gives new hope, new chances to women and girls. Girls like 13-year-old Makeda, who was abducted, raped, and forced into marriage. Makeda's abductor and rapist was enabled by Ethiopia's laws that allows a rapist to go free if he marries his victim. The law was repealed because of Makeda's bravery in taking the case to court. and showing the society the immense harm that is caused a girl when she is forced to marry her rapist. It was also repealed because of the intense campaigning by Ethiopian groups working in partnership with Equality Now. But government shouldn't wait for brave victims of unjust laws to come forward, and they shouldn't wait for individual campaigns against each and every individual law. They should take proactive measures to end once and for all government-sanctioned discrimination, and they should ensure that new laws against discriminatory laws, I read that wrong. And they should ensure that the new laws against discrimination are enforced. We all know that a lot of the new laws are not enforced. They have to be enforced. Why? Because equality between men and women is the critical component to a more balanced, just society. It is also the critical component to more prosperous and healthy lives. And as Yasmin has mentioned, gender equality means more peace and security. And by the way, gender equality means men can be healthier. But that's a whole other talk. And yet, as already has been mentioned, many states are actually enacting new discriminatory laws, and we can't allow this to happen. To all government representatives here, I urge you to do everything you can to change laws that treat women and girls as less than men and boys. And to the members of the public that are here, please contribute to calling your government to do the right thing. We have to remember that it is robust grassroots movements that make governments work and make governments move. And now it is my great honor to introduce to you Tony Award-winning actor, playwright, and Goodwill Ambassador for UNICEF, Sarah Jones, who has long been devoted to the cause of gender equality and, like me, has long been a member of the Equality Now family. Sarah's art is vital for understanding the impact that discriminatory laws have on women and girls. And we're proud to have someone with her talent bring the work that we do to life. Someone the New York Times says is a master of the genre, the mistress of the genre, probably they should have said. And since Equality Now first commissioned her Women Can't Wait performance piece 15 years ago, Sarah's wonderful character portrayals continue to inspire our work and highlight, please turn your phones off, and highlight the urgent need for legal reform. So please, with phones turned off, give full attention and much applause to a one-woman global village, Sarah Jones.
Well, I don't get an introduction like that every day from the great Jane Fonda. Thank you so much for your work. Thank you to everyone here, excellencies, distinguished guests, members of the public. I'm so grateful to Equality Now for having us here. Madam Assistant Secretary General, thank you so much for your words and for your actions, your words and deeds. I just want to say, I hope you can hear me okay. You're going to hear a lot of different people up here today, and I know that with these discriminatory laws, our goal is to move forward into the future and leave them behind, but we are going to go into the past for just a moment, because what you're about to see, for those of you who have not met the Women Can't Wait group in one of the previous incarnations here at the United Nations, these folks, these women and activists gathered to present for all of you we're going to go back into their rehearsal space. So you all, they can't see you, you can see them, but they're having their private moment just before everything we all just witnessed. So join me in the very, very recent past as we reprise Women Can't Wait for today, for this extraordinary opportunity with Beijing+20, as we're calling it for short. So, as I said, you can see them, they can't see you. They may hear your cell phone if it rings. The time-space continuum is sensitive that way. Okay, but I think they just need us to test that microphone so that they can you hear well? Okay, is it fine? Okay, what do you want me to say? Anything? My name is Praveen Manvi, okay? Is it working? Okay, thank you very much, fantastic. So we will just start the rehearsal, okay? Before we begin, I know we are all quite excited. I know Jane Fonda will be there this time, but please, as I have said in the past, we must maintain decorum, okay? We will just try to remember Ms. Fonda, she is an esteemed activist. Yes, she is also a celebrity, but please try to refrain from asking her about her exercise, workout videos. Please try to refrain, especially from asking her if you can take a selfie. I think it is just not dignified. Yes. Okay, Anna. Well, dear, if you must ask Ms. Fonda to take a selfie, well, perhaps you will wait until a moment when I am also nearby and you can bring me into that. But before we begin the rehearsal, I just want to acknowledge we are all here. Our group, it has expanded so much since the Beijing+15. I hope that microphone is okay. It will be fine. When we were only 7 people, it was a different dynamic, but now we are like an army today, right? Except our weapon, it's still the Equality Now report, and it cannot kill, but it can fire warning that we need to change those laws that still remain. And I just want to thank some of our younger members who helped us to grow through the social media, the Twitter, okay. And our Women Can't Wait group, I don't do that tweeting. Thank goodness we have the interns to do that. And our Women Can't Wait group now attracting so many women from around the world. It's so great. And we can't forget those male feminists who have joined us here as well. Okay, hello, you 3. Okay. But of course, we not only want to hold the government accountable, but we are here to express how pleased we are with the governments who have made the progress on those laws, right? So we want to focus on that. Yes, Anna, but when I said we are giving them the thumbs up, I mean, this is different than the Instagram where you are clicking like and it is a thumbs up. No, but I know Instagram, but I think the acknowledgement of them here today, it is a serious thing. I understand. Well, when you are 18, your entire life is happening on the Instagram, I suppose. Okay. But they are expecting us on that stage in a short while now. So while it is just the group of us, we are alone, they can't hear what we have to say. But remember, when the real people are there, don't be intimidated, okay? We are going to introduce ourselves just like we rehearsed at a hotel. This is important that you speak out with your voices, okay? And also, don't forget to smile. Only I mention that because it does help to smile when you are telling them that they are still not complying with the Beijing Platform for Action and CEDAW, okay? So I will begin. Good afternoon, Excellencies and distinguished guests. My name is Praveen Manvi, and it is an honor to join you here once again. For those who remember, at the time when I was here, I spoke about the discriminatory laws concerning marital rape, not only in India, but also around the world. And I was so pleased to share at that time the victory of the progress of the new domestic violence law that we got in India. So that was quite important. But in light of the intervening years and the ongoing culture of rape, whether inside or outside the institution of marriage. We must hold government accountable for truly acknowledging the rape as a crime wherever it occurs. And for those who will try to say that it is perhaps shameful to bring rape into the public discourse, I say the true shame is the reality of the crime itself, not those who might be brave enough to shine a light or in some cases a film camera on that reality. But briefly, I have decided to share the personal story of one woman I know. This woman left her husband after they had been married for 29 years. But he had always, unfortunately, in their relationship, forced himself on her in that way. And she had tried to learn to ignore that since she was a young bride, since she thought perhaps what he is doing, it must be his right as the husband. And he was a good provider, hard worker. Even he respected that her work was important too. This woman, she was a nurse. And so she always told herself she had this kind of progressive husband. But when both of their children had grown and gone away to the university, this woman, she was alone in her house with the husband for the first time in years. And this marital rape, it began to get much worse. And at that time, this woman, she was still working as a nurse, planning soon to retire. And she would see some of these abused women coming into the hospital frequently with their injuries. And it would be evident that someone, most likely the husband, was doing that to her. But that nurse, when she always thought what a shame that was, it somehow never occurred to her that what her husband had been doing behind the closed doors, in that privacy of that relationship, that was no different, that is a severe abuse also. And in fact, that reached the point where that nurse herself, she had to see her own doctor with injuries from that ongoing abuse of that marital rape. Eventually, this woman had to leave the husband for her own safety. And the worst part was that she had no recourse. That according to the laws of India, and this is that great nation whose history is a model of what can be achieved in the struggle for human rights and independence, in that country, a man who forces his wife, no matter how viciously, he cannot be charged for the criminal act of raping her, simply because they are married. So, the woman in that story, that retired nurse, she is me. And it has been many years since I left my husband. And my sons, they wondered what was wrong with me. And my husband, he had the nerve to tell them that I just got old and went crazy. And I could never tell them the truth about that. Just as I had never before chosen to share these personal details in such a public forum. But I took that decision this time, because that law still does not grant women the right to hold the man accountable for his crime. That is a crime. Rape is a crime. And I am willing to step forward in this way, that together we might help to shape the culture where the rape is never tolerated under any circumstance. And I thank you for your attention to that. Okay. Okay. Okay, Emerald, you will go next. Very good. Okay. Just, I think, take your time and don't forget what I said to smile. I know. Okay. Okay.
Bon après-midi, mesdames et messieurs, good afternoon. I want to say only good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, that I am very pleased to have this opportunity to return. My name is Emeraude Besson, if you don't remember. But you may recall, if you were in the Beijing+20, that I was a teacher. Prof, à la retraite, I am retired. But at that time, if you remember, I spoke about a law this law, which until only 10 years ago, okay, that is when I did retire, this law still existed in France, left over on those law books from the old-fashioned days. And that law said that women must not be allowed to work, to earn a living at night, okay? Unfortunately, we don't have windows. We don't know if we are breaking the law or not here in the UN. I don't know if you remember that. Perhaps you do remember. I don't want to treat you like my student, but hopefully you are paying attention. I am very happy that they did repeal that law. And also, I want to say, in Bolivia, where they had similar law, they did repeal that. So we want to say thank you. Merci, Bolivia. Merci, muchas gracias. Okay? In those cases, you know, we are very happy, on a réussi, we succeed with that, c'était formidable, it's wonderful. But also, you may recall the last time I was here, I mentioned that malheureusement, in Paris, okay, à Paris, there was still this law on the books that women, you cannot believe this, women, they were not allowed to wear trousers. How many of you in here are criminal right now? Okay? Seriously, I thought about that I suppose that makes Yves Saint Laurent, Givenchy, Christian Dior, you know, they have those wonderful trousers, very flattering. I suppose those designers, they are all accomplices to innumerable crimes. I mean, really, this is like a couture crime spree. But seriously, that law was left over from 1800, and it was modified in 1892, and then again in 1909, to allow women to wear the trousers only if they are holding bicycle handlebar or the reins of a horse. You have your choice there, okay? So that is how that law remained until just after it was mentioned here at the Beijing+15. I don't know. I don't want to, well, I don't know if that's coincidence, you know, but maybe I thought perhaps they are concerned for the safety of Paris. I mean, if you think about women cannot keep their hands on the handlebar of their bike and the reins of their horse at all times. It's not possible. So this means all those chic equestrian women and biking women of Paris would be denied access to their capri pants, their designer jeans, their palazzos. I mean, I think it's a fashion week in Paris right now. There would be riots on the Champs-Élysées. It would be probably a civil unrest. I mean, je vous promets, this would be disaster. So my point is that I am pleased all of those have been repealed. We can be restored to our closets with the freedom we deserve. And that means also I don't have so much to discuss. So I have given my time to two of my colleagues. I told them to please take as much time as they need. Okay? Please just take 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes. Okay, so I will just start. Okay. Well, thank you, Emerald, spasiba. Okay. First, I want only to say my name is Svetlana Ledinov. It is my great honor to be here today. I am very grateful and pleased to have this opportunity. But also, I have to say that I am sad. I am very sad to be here. Because that even though we are trying to have this sense of humor, that also we are here protesting laws which are sad. Okay, so we have heard other ladies, don't say ladies, women, okay? Women and girls. Girls and women? Can I say female speaker? It's okay? Okay. So we have heard from the other female speakers today about this discrimination in laws. And in Russia, in my country, we have, I will tell you now, 456 kinds of jobs Women are not allowed to do it. Okay, so here today at UN, we have only limited minutes to share with you. If I try to mention every job a woman cannot do it in Russia, it will take more time than we have. What we have, maybe 6 more days, even with breaks. We won't have time. But I will just name only few of these jobs, and then you can go read Equality Now report yourself. You can find the website for the Russian government and write them a nice email, okay? But for now, here are just a few of these laws. Women, we are not allowed to drive train. Woman is not allowed to drive bulldozer. Woman is not allowed to drive tractor. Woman not allowed to drive truck. Woman is not allowed to be mechanic in any of these vehicles. So counting, okay? We are also not allowed to be a carpenter. Carpenter. I mean, I love furniture. I love furniture. I mean, everybody loves furniture. Women, men, furniture is wonderful. You look outside here, they have just redone this area with beautiful furniture. I mean, maybe I could have made something of this, but we will never know because I am not allowed. And also, women, we are not allowed to work in plumbing. I mean, nobody has law against me cleaning the bathroom, but the plumbing, no. Praveen, Emrod, okay, I know, I have 30 seconds, 1 minute, okay. One more, sewage system. Women not allowed to work in the sewage system. Okay, so maybe it's not my top choice for the employment, but at least I should be the one to get to make this choice. So that's all. Okay, I don't want to take more time, but you know, I only reached maybe 10, 15 of those laws. It's okay. So maybe I will have to continue at the Beijing+25, but I hope not. Okay, Elspeth, it's your turn, Elspeth.
Okay, let's see if that's working okay. Right, it's very difficult to hear yourself that loud. Oh dear. All right, good afternoon, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, Madam Assistant Secretary General, guests. My name is Elspeth Cook. Right, I am a sociologist focused on violence against women, as well as well, I suppose I'm here in my capacity as, frankly, a rather reluctant activist. I'd say reluctant in the sense that I do wish all these laws would simply disappear so we could all be put out of our jobs in the field of gender-based violence and discrimination. But until such time as that day arrives, I suppose I should start by telling you I'm English. You can probably tell I'm English not only because of my accent, but also because, like many of my compatriots, I generally do prefer to call as little attention to myself as possible, particularly avoiding stepping onto a world stage, if I can avoid that. However, I do believe it is worth it, in the case of these discriminatory laws, for one to be as conspicuous as is necessary, at least long enough to raise awareness of these issues. And for example, I'm here in part because it bears mentioning that even my government of Britain has a discriminatory revised employment policy for women in the armed forces. The effect on the Royal Marines, paragraph 2b, I quote, "In a small corps, in times of crisis and manpower shortage," lovely detail there, I thought, gentlemen, manpower, I mean, I suppose person power would be too much to ask, or just sort of human power, in any case. I'll continue the quotation, "All Royal Marines must be capable at any time of serving at their rank and skill level in a commando unit. Employment of women in the Royal Marines will not allow for interoperability." Interoperability, emphasis mine.
Besides being a sort of impenetrably incomprehensible word, which I had to look up myself, interoperability basically states that women are so different to men that the sexes are rather like operating systems, which don't function equally, and therefore cannot interoperate. And one may say, well, Elspeth, really, isn't it quibbling to point out such a law? Isn't virtually everything essentially equal, really? And when I say one may quibble, one means one's husband, may quibble. But when he says, isn't everything else essential and equal, really? And for that matter, such laws against women working in dangerous situations, are they not in place to protect women's safety, really? But I would argue, with said spouse, that tragically, in every country round the world, including my own, women are far more likely to be harmed by violence from their partner rather than in the line of duty in any form of work. So if the government's chief concern truly is the safety of women, perhaps there should be laws about mandatory anti-violence education for boys and men, so that they won't abuse and devalue women or see them as less than. Yes, I'm just wrapping up here. All right, Emerald. I know, I surprised myself. I didn't think I wanted to speak, and here it's coming. Right. Right, so as I said, perhaps this would prevent boys and men from abusing, devaluing women, seeing them as less than, as the weaker sex, and ultimately not up to interoperability, right? So I'll end my remarks there, lest I stray too far into controversy. Certainly wouldn't want to be impolite when everyone's been ever so kind in inviting us here, so I'll just, right, okay, thanks.
Right. Well, I will do the best I can. I know that we have little time, but these issues, it takes the time that it takes to reach people, and hopefully that they are listening. But also, I have forgotten my glasses, so I will do the best that I can here. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, Excellencies. My name is Hala Rahal. I am here gratefully to represent women around the world, but also I represent Jordan. Actually, my family is of Lebanese and Egyptian descent, so you can say that I am like multiple Middle East delegations, but in one body. And as in the past, when I was here with the Women Can't Wait group, I am here to talk about the women and girls affected by these laws. And this is not only the lighter side, but also the human toll of treating women as an object to be controlled. For example, I can tell you a story of one Jordanian woman. She is married to an Egyptian man living in Jordan. Even though this is her country of her birth, and this is her own culture, her own people, and she is a proud Jordanian, because her husband is not Jordanian, her children are considered to be like a second-class citizen, because she is the woman, and he is not Jordanian, they are non-national. So just so you understand what this can mean, she is not allowed to register her own children, her own babies in her passport. They are not Jordanian in the real way. She is, even with, I want to acknowledge, the new government regulations from the end of last year, which I want to say this as a hopeful step, shukran, but for now, until those steps are implemented, this means still that the children of these Jordanian women are not treated the same as if she were a man. Schools will not accept the children. How can she educate her children? And when they are sick, every parent knows what is that panic to have a sick child. She cannot take them to the government hospital as everyone else can. It is unacceptable. And worst of all, if she and her husband, who is Egyptian, if they are having problems, which they are now, he has all the control in that relationship. If he wanted to take the children away from her, take them permanently, he has the ability to do that, to just take them to Egypt. Nothing stopping him. They have an Egyptian passport. And she would have to go fight in the court of Egypt just to have her own children. So I hope you can see that it is really, the reality is that it makes the woman powerless over her own family and destiny. And this is not true for a man, by the way. He can marry anyone he wants from the moon, if he likes. There will still be Jordanian children. So one more example I will share, that if you wonder why I am so passionate about, perhaps I will not be so emotional when the time comes, but I am really feeling that, okay, yes, I will just, yes, well, when there are people there, maybe it will be different. I don't know, but these people I am sharing about, they are not far from my own life. And I have shared here before about the loss in my own family from these kind of discriminatory laws. And today I share about these women who can be my cousins, some are cousins, sisters, relations, who are real women, not numbers for a report. These are our family, all of us. So I will tell you only one family friend, her daughter, this girl was 16 years of age, and like too many girls around the world, she was the victim of a rape. And we know that rape, it's the problem in every one of the countries. There is no place where we are safe from that, tragically, to this day. But like too many countries, this girl is she's Lebanese, living in Lebanon. And if a kidnapper or a rapist agrees to marry the victim, then the perpetrator, he goes from being the attacker and the victimizer to the husband, who the woman has to obey. It means not only this girl suffers the horror of that rape, but now the court system encourage that marriage to cleanse the honor for both. What is this logic? So I just want to say, not only does the girl not want to marry this attacker, he does not want to marry her, but the court, as I said, even all the officials, even the prosecutor who is supposed to be on her side is encouraging that. So I pray and I ask that these laws, we understand them to be a matter of life and death. And I implore all the governments where this kind of law is still in place, follow the example of Morocco. Follow the example of Argentina. We thank them for repealing these laws. We thank them. And as I believe I have heard said here before, I hope that the next time I get to return here, it will be as a tourist, instead of having to beseech delegates to please help us with these laws. I want to just come for holiday and relax. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. Muy buenas tardes, damas y caballeros. I just want to say that I am so grateful to be here. Also, my name is Rosalie Polanco. I know I'm going to try to slow down. Okay. I am sorry. It's just been a long time since we were there last time, and I know, oh my God, okay. Okay. So this is such an honor to be returning to the United Nations for the Beijing+20. And Okay, so I am here representing La República Dominicana, the Dominican Republic, but also I'm so excited to be here and to be part of this and everything, and oh my God, I'm getting really nervous because Jane Fonda, she's really gonna be there, right? She's really gonna be there, oh my God. Okay, I just wanna say that like it's so incredible, all the, the distinguished, everybody who's gonna be there, and of course Jane Fonda, she's an amazing activist and everything, but plus she was also in a movie with Jennifer Lopez, and it's like I'm gonna be one person removed from J-Lo for the rest of my life. It's crazy to me. I can't even believe that. So, okay, no, I should focus. Okay, focus. Okay, right, focus. Focus on the script. Okay, so anyway, what I wanted to say is I not only represent the Dominican Republic, but also the United States, because as I shared with you last time, I am here on behalf of both. And unfortunately, that's very convenient that I represent both, because both of them have laws that allow girls to be married as children. And those girls can be as young as 13 years of age. And before you go thinking any law where the girl can be that young, that must be the Dominican Republic, nope, you're wrong. Actually, it's New Hampshire in the United States where the girl can be 13 years old and the boy has to be 14, so it's not even equal. It's crazy and it's not equal. So anyway, for me, it's like, in the United States, you can't drink until you're 21 years old. You can't vote until you're 18 years old. I mean, you can't even audition to be a contestant on The Voice or American Idol until you're 15. But, the law says that you can become a wife and a mother, and it's like, it's so crazy to me. Even I look at my own life, what happened with me, that when I was 15, I got married in DR, and by the time I was 16, I had my daughter. And, it's like, I'm still a minor myself trying to raise a child at that time. And, how are girls like me supposed to, like you all say in your language, close the gender gap, I mean, that's how you all, your honors, your excellencies talk about that. And for us in our real life, it's like we live it. And, how am I supposed to get education and economic opportunities, everything I need for my family? I'll tell you how. It's hard. It's like almost impossible. That's how. And, I'm one of the lucky ones. At least I'm standing here today talking to you when actually in some parts of the world, for example, in Ethiopia, nearly half of the girls there are married before the age of 15. Before the age of 15. And then they're dying in childbirth. I mean, it's like literally their life is taken away from them before it can start. So, I mean, there are places like Bangladesh where up to 90% of girls are married before they're 18. And it limits your life in so many ways, believe me. So like I said, I do consider myself very lucky. I'm 25 years old today. I just finished my last year of college. So if you add it up, that took me more than 6 years. And I was going to school full-time, raising my daughter, working full-time. And if you feel exhausted, believe me, just imagine how I feel. Just saying it, I know it's exhausted to hear it. But, and I should just say, I am doing the best I can. Right now at my company, actually, I am the junior assistant to the associate director under the senior vice president for business development. So that's very exciting. But anyway, I just can't help thinking, where would I be if the laws were different? Like if it did not allow children to be married, I could have been like one of you. I could have been even like more successful. So anyway, I look at my daughter today. I want better for her. She's 7 years old. And when I think about her getting married, imagine that, 13, that will be 6 more years from now, mi niñita. I mean, that's what motivates me to come here, to talk to you, is that I don't want my daughter having to stand here at Beijing+30, Beijing+35, that we just keep it going, and she's here telling you a story just like mine. So please, let's leave these practices in the past where they belong, and I just want to acknowledge Malawi for passing a law to end child marriage, and Tanzania is soon to do the same, so muchísimas gracias, I can say that, okay? And, that just shows. I'm almost finished. I don't know how my time is. And that just shows that, that we really, we can leave these draconian and anachronistic laws in the past. I love those 2 words. I've been using my dictionary app. So anyway, I hope that in the future, my daughter will be here like one of you. And for today, I actually did bring my resume in case anybody's interested in talking to me. So, okay, thank you.
Okay, here we go. Okay, we don't have much time, is that right? We don't have much time to finish rehearsal? Okay, well, I'll do the best I can. Good afternoon, Your Honors and Excellencies and distinguished guests. What it's an experience of a lifetime to be here. And I can say that. I've been on this planet longer than most of you. I know from a lifetime. Anyway, this is my first time here with the Women Can't Wait group. And I am one of the newest members of the group. I didn't say youngest. Okay. But I am quelling to be here with so many of you, excellencies and luminaries you have here, and Jane Fonda, of course, all these just magnificent people, distinguished lawmakers and advocates dedicating yourself to this work, and you're all so accomplished at your age. Your parents must be very proud. Anyway, I just think it's wonderful we get to celebrate that over half of the laws in the Equality Now report have changed, so that's delightful. I applaud you. And actually, I'm giving you a standing ovation, but you just can't tell because they couldn't find me a chair. No, it's okay, honey, I'm fine. Okay. Nothing moves here anyway. They nailed it all down. Yeah. Well, they must be worried the United States will come take it all away. Okay, don't make jokes like that. Okay. Anyway, as we're hearing, there is still a long way to go in many countries, so it's not all celebration. And I will share an example or two here. I don't know whether we have an Israeli delegation here. If we do, shalom, chavarim v'chavarot. If we don't, hi, friends. Don't worry about it. But I have Israeli grandchildren. I have family all over the world. And it's lovely visiting them there. But I'll tell you, I had no idea that under Jewish law there in Israel, still a woman is not allowed to get divorced from her husband unless she has his permission. I mean, I thought that was something from maybe left over from my day that should be long gone by now. The husband has to give consent. The husband has to agree. I mean, if he's so agreeable, she probably doesn't need the divorce in the first place. Anyway, I'll just share, I looked into it, and from there it just gets more complicated with the marriage law. Hopefully you can follow this. If you're a woman, you can marry a man under Jewish law, but you can't divorce unless he gives you permission, so good luck. And basically you have to go outside the country. But if you're a woman and you want to marry a woman, and why shouldn't you? It's a modern world. You can't do that under Jewish law. You have to leave the country to be married. But don't worry, because if you need a divorce, you can go right back to Israel. They'll do that for you, as long as it's two women. So I just want to say to the rabbinical courts who make the laws, with all due respect, why can't you just change the law already? I mean, is it that complicated? If you read the Equality Now report, which I would happily translate into Hebrew, you can see an entire list of countries making progress on a range of laws on marriage. So why don't you just pass the law that lets women get divorced? You'll be done with it. It's not so much to ask. You'll feel better about yourself, I promise. So I'll just quickly give one more example because I don't discriminate, so I don't want anyone to think I'm pointing at Israel. I also have other grandchildren who live in Singapore. I told you, our family is like a rainbow. I hope that's okay to say. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Is it okay to say rainbow? It's fine. Okay. Anyway, my grandson, he's in finance. He's based in Singapore. And he met a lovely woman there in synagogue, would you believe? She's the loveliest thing. She's half Buddhist and half Jewish. I told him that makes her Buddhish. He didn't like that, but anyway. I visited them there in Singapore. Again, a beautiful country. But I didn't know, for example, there's a law there that if a man rapes his wife, it's not a crime as long as the wife is over 13 years of age. It reminded me of what I heard about New Hampshire. And then I thought, now having a Singaporean-American great-granddaughter myself, she's not safe there, she's not safe here. I don't want laws that allow something like that to happen anywhere. God forbid. Married at 13, you know. I thought to myself, I think I have candies in my purse older than 13 years old. Anyway, I want to thank all of you for the hard work you do and for educating me about these issues, and I'll leave you with this. I remember first learning, because of the Women Can't Wait, about the MDGs, the Millennium Development Goals. And the joke was that governments seem to think Millennium Development Goals means they should all sit back and relax, since they had at least 1,000 years before they had to do anything about it. But I'm almost done. I'm wrapping up here. Okay. I'm almost finished. I'm exhausted. Okay, give me a second here. But I would like to think that we're closer than ever to changing all these laws. And so for all those of you who have already done it, thank you. And for those of you lagging behind, there's still time. You know, what do we have? A few more days here of the conference? Why don't you go ahead and just change it? It's worth it. You won't feel a thing, okay? Thank you.
Hello. Wait, first, I want to do it there. Okay. Okay. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, distinguished, honored guests and excellencies. My name is Anna. I'm from Kenya. And the last time I was here, I was only 13 years old. And Equality Now they supported me to come here. And at 13, it makes me laugh that I was the same age as the candies in Lorraine's purse. But the last time I came in the United States, people always ask me the same questions. Oh, you are from Kenya. Are you a relative of Barack Obama? Or do you run Marital? And now, so much has changed. Now, when I visit, they will ask, oh, do you know Lupita Nyong'o? But I am proud of all of those things. But what makes me the most proud to be from Kenya, wherever I travel in the world, like now I have been to not only United States, England, Europe, I have been also studying in South Africa. And I tell people what makes me most proud, it's our culture. Not just speaking Kiswahili, yes. Oh, I am hearing things. Not just speaking Kiswahili, eating ugali, wearing kanga, or listening to benga, but also it is our people, including our girls, our women, all our people, not only those who are somehow world famous. It is everybody who makes our culture, Harambee, that is so vibrant and full of life. And our traditions that give life, it is that part I love the most. And I believe our best traditions, they do not take life. And that is why it is still so important for me to talk about the female genital mutilation, which I was talking about when I was nearly 13, the last time I was here. And if you do not know what is female genital mutilation, that is the harmful traditional practice where the girl has her clitoris cut, and in some case, her part of her body, her labia, can be cut, or even worse, what is called infibulation. And this girl can bleed so badly that she can die or suffer the rest of her life with injuries and terrible pain. And all of this, it's so supposed to be like rite of passage, before a girl is married, but to me that is a torture. And I will never want to suffer that torture. And I say, any man who thinks I must be cut to be a good wife, then he is not the husband for me. And, okay, and I tell to all my friends that if that is the requirement of the husband, that is the kind of man, I will unfriend him, I will unfollow him, and I will block him on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And also, and definitely I would block him IRL. IRL, it means in real life. You don't think they will understand? You don't know? You never heard in real life? Okay. But for my part, when I was 16, I am so grateful that my parents supported me in my decision not to be cut. I was spared from the FGM, and I thank God every day that we had a law, and owing to that law that we got in 2011 to stop girls from being cut and mutilated as a rite of passage, that is changing. And the female genital mutilation, it is officially against our laws in Kenya, and it is important to say that according to the UNICEF report from 2013, the prevalence of FGM, it has fallen from nearly 50%, that is nearly half of the middle-aged women, to only 15% for adolescent girls today. That is incredible. But even though we can celebrate this victory, we must stay vigilant that the law is enforced, and that's not easy. Many people still want to force girls to have FGM in spite of that law, and there is a new danger. Like some girls like me, if they are living abroad or they were never cut, their family may trick them into going on holiday, on vacation, and that girl can be forced when she arrives to that country to go through the female genital mutilation. So on top of that law, we need to have the support of our people, and until not one girl has to suffer this torture, we must keep fighting. So that is why I try to reach girls and women everywhere around the world, and it helps to be on Instagram and Twitter, and you can follow me if you want. But I always tell people, please do not clog my feed. If you are one who posts a lot of photos about food, and you are just constantly posting, oh, today it rained outside, oh, today I went shopping at the shops. Oh, okay, I will just go faster. But on Instagram and Twitter, Equality Now has the hashtag #unsexylaws, and I will just say before I go that Kenya has a new unsexy law that I tweet and post about. That was the 2014 law allowing polygamy. And while we were celebrating the victory of the FGM law and the future that is in front of us, they were passing the new polygamy law while we were not looking in back of us. So we don't want to go backwards. So I tweeted, maybe if men would learn to respect wife number one, they would not require the backup plan of wife number 2, number 3, and number 4. Unsexy laws. So, and if the officials want to check, that was precisely 140 characters on the Twitter, and you can verify. And I hope that you will not only read, but you will retweet these messages. Join in our fight. Join us online and also IRL, in real life. Thank you. Asante sana. Thank you. Thank you. In every language I have, even if I tried to use them all, I would not be able to articulate my gratitude for everyone here, for every one of the activists, the lawmakers, excellencies, everyone who puts their deep conviction behind this work. And I would not know about all that you do without equality now. I'm so grateful to be able to bring my art into this dialogue with all of you. I'm deeply grateful for the work you do. Please continue. And I'll just say that if you'd like to be more involved, please do read the report. It's a wonderful tool to share with others. If one of my characters were here, Lorraine Levine would say,
Please go to equalitynow.org, Beijing+20, and I don't know how to figure it out, but somebody else will help me click on the right place to get involved and change these laws.
so thank you all so much. I'll see you on Twitter and Instagram and IRL.